If you're struggling to be consistent on your weight loss journey, there's a good chance that you are trying to find motivation, discipline, and maybe accountability. That's what you think you need because that's what you've been told that you need. But here's the thing. There's some underlying stuff here that if you first can acknowledge and see for what it is and then start to work to untangle it, that stuff will fall into place. Um, the motivation comes and goes, doesn't matter. That's at every single stage. It's always how it's going to be. Discipline is something in the fitness space that is, I I think the way people talk about it isn't all that helpful because it's like this glamorized skill, and a lot of people will praise themselves because they had the discipline to get up today and do their workout. But if you're just like if it's scheduled within your life and it's something that you're willing and able to do, you don't need motivation or discipline. Now, accountability is something that we definitely need. Accountability to yourself is wonderful once you can cultivate it, which the other things that we're going to talk about here can help you cultivate it. Accountability to others or from others, you got to be careful because very few people have this stuff set up in a very helpful way. A lot of your accountability buddies will talk about motivation. They will talk about, you gotta have discipline just to show up and do the thing. Now, what you're really looking for when we look at consistency, look at it as a skill. That's what makes it sustainable. That makes it, you start where you are. Let's say you have a zero level of consistency. You don't, but we're going to say that you do. So then you start with what you're willing and able to do. In this case, we're talking about eating and exercise. So if you start with your preferences and you do that stuff, that's the easiest stuff to be consistent with. And it's you build momentum with it. And what happens when you build momentum with it is you start to have a little bit more courage about trying new things and trusting that you will be consistent with it. And that's what drives a lot of the starting and stopping and the sustainability. One is the whole mess that I went into as far as discipline and motivation that the fitness industry will throw at us. But the other part of it is really just clearing out the stuff underneath and acknowledging it. Like consistency is something that you can develop as a skill. You might even be at the point where you don't even see that you're consistent. You might convince yourself that I'm always starting and stopping. I'm always, it truly is all or nothing. You're either on or off. But when you acknowledge this and you're like, you know what? I can start where I am. I can build this around my preferences first. I can choose to trust that I'm somebody that I can be consistent with stuff, that I'm already consistent. When you frame it in this way, you see it as something that you already have that you're trying to further develop. It's not this magical, mystical stuff that like comes through discipline and grit and all this. It's something that you already have. You just have to look for it and you have to identify it and you have to trust that you are the person that is going to follow through because you literally are. You are like, if you're listening to a podcast about consistency, you want to improve this. You have everything inside you that you need, but you got to and as hard as it is, because so much of what we're told in health and fitness is about all or nothing thinking. You got to find the little victories in between. You got to see those instances of where you're following through because you are doing it. You can do this. You are doing this. I just hope that now you're willing and able to trust yourself. But let me know how it's going. Email me. It's Daryl at yourlevelfitness.com. That's DARYL at yourlevelfitness.com. If you're brand new to the Inside Out approach, which is cultivating a lot of this stuff that we're talking about, head to yourlevelfitness.com. I've got all kinds of info on how to, it takes you about 5 minutes, but you'll see how all of this works. And I've got I've got a ton of stuff there that'll help you. I've got a framework where you can structure everything for the goals that you have, how to set goals, how to follow through, track progress, look for trends, both in and outside of health and fitness. This is something that you can use on your own. So check that out. And that's what I have for you. So thank you as always for listening and watching, and I'll talk to you again real soon.